Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. It's great to see everybody joining me this evening. If you're watching this on the replay, again, thank you so much. And my name is Laura Betts, and I am Facility Director of Hyperbaric RX down here in South Florida. And tonight's topic, we are going to discuss what we can expect from one hyperbaric session. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has some cumulative benefits. It also has some things that happen right away, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Last week, I discussed binders for better dives. And if you are doing hyperbaric oxygen therapy and not getting the results you expect, you may need to be using some binders to help improve your outcome. So we'd encourage you to reach out to us, share some information. We may need to add a personalized nutritional health education program to go along with your hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And again, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me this evening. Of course, as always, this information is provided for general information purposes. This is not a substitute for the advice of a licensed physician. And of course, any products that we're discussing are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any disease. So again, we're going to get into our topic tonight. Let me just take a moment to introduce myself. I am founder and facility director of Hyperbaric RX down here in sunny South Florida. And in an earlier video, I talked about my story and how I had my own amazing miracle with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is the root of my optimal health. And I had such a profound healing experience with it that it drew me to the facility that we have here and ultimately becoming the holistic health practitioner that I am. And I'd love to help you. We do amazing things here. So if you're struggling or you're looking to just look better, feel better, please, I'd love to work with you. Please reach out to our office. We're located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on West Commercial Boulevard, just a couple of blocks east of 441. Our number at the office is 954-749-9998. We obviously, to do hyperbaric oxygen therapy here in one of our chambers, you do need to be physically present, but we do telehealth and we do personal dive planning for people all over the world. So again, if you're struggling, please reach out to us. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We have an awful lot to offer. I have been in the diving and hyperbaric medical industry for almost my entire professional career. I'm a longtime member of the ANDI Diving and Hyperbaric Medical Board, and that helps give me a lot of information to share with my clients. Because I sit on a medical board, I am constantly being updated with new information, new research, and it's very, very exciting. I'm also Vice President of Substance Abuse Programming and Protocol Integration for the International Hyperbaric Medical Foundation. And the IHMF is looking to expand the access and awareness of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It really is an amazing thing. Our facility here, we are a training and research site. So I shared that I do sit on a couple of medical boards. And in addition to making safe access to hyperbaric oxygen therapy here, personalized health, as well as we offer detox foot baths and several other services at our holistic health center here. We are a training and research site. So at any given time, we are verifying protocols, we're feeding back data real time, and this helps create the ANDI protocol list. And the ANDI protocol list is another reason why you want to go to an ANDI certified hyperbaric facility. And it brings us right to what I'm going to be talking about tonight, about what to expect from a hyperbaric session. Different conditions, different goals, different desired clinical outcomes, different indications, different symptoms. They have very different trigger points in regards to the effects of the increased solubility of oxygen. And that's essentially what hyperbaric oxygen therapy is. We're dissolving a gas into a liquid. In this case, the gas is oxygen, and the liquid is everything in our body except for very dense bone. And this wonderful law of physics, taking advantage of Henry's law of solubility. I did Charles's law in one of our earlier topics. I'll do one on Henry's law at some point. And of course, we talk about it in the ANDI training programs all the time. It takes advantage of the fact that our physical mask is predominantly liquid, and we can increase the amount of oxygen dissolved into the tissues with hyperbaric medicine. And when we do that, all of these different mechanisms of action happen in the body. Chemical reactions happen better. Negative inflammatory cycles shut down. Infections can be eradicated. Immune systems, white blood cells can be made better hunters with bigger guns. We can supercharge for a positive immune response if we're trying to increase detoxification and increase the body's ability to fight infections, to kill pathogens. Uh, Another neat thing, at a completely different dosage, a completely different trigger point, we can use hyperbaric oxygen therapy to suppress a negative immune response. So this is one of the reasons why an immune disorder, which is a chronic condition, has a very different protocol and a very different trigger point than, for example, an infectious disease protocol. We specifically want to kill something that's not supposed to be there. And hyperbaric, in emergency hyperbaric medicine, it's used for some very aggressive infections, one of which is necrotizing fasciitis. And the reason why those switches and mechanisms that are being engaged in the treatment and management of that condition are the same reason why it's engaged in many of the other indications. So very interesting point there. So different conditions, different applications, different goals have protocols and their accumulative benefits. So one of the things that I find interesting is the unfair standard that natural health, holistic health, ends up being held to. I did a consult a few months ago from somebody that was working with a another program. They were working with an allopathic symptom management model. And over a period of 18 months, they'd done every single thing that they were told to do. They were a fully compliant patient, and they kept getting worse and worse and worse. And even though they kept getting worse, they continued to do the exact same thing. And at some point, this becomes the definition of insanity. If every time we do this, these negative things happen and we feel worse, and we don't feel better, and we're not reaching our health goals, we're not reaching our wellness goals, we're not even reaching our symptom management goals, we're really unhappy, why do we continue to do it? And at the same point, I've had the firsthand experience of someone with a chronic condition that did a single hyperbaric session and said, yeah, my symptoms didn't go away. Yeah, I felt a little better. I had a little bit more energy. But a few days later, well, that's amazing. That was a great response. The protocol is 40. We did one. The protocol is 20. We did one. So again, this is another reason why working with an ANDI Certified Hyperbaric Facility, coming into that one session, we're going to create an excellent opportunity for efficacy. Maybe we'll even get some symptom management from that. But over a bigger picture here, we're going to put together a long-term goal. Now, one of the things that might happen from a single hyperbaric session, if the target dosage is right, is you may get a analgesic benefit. Hyperbaric is a super powerful anti-inflammatory. And as a result of the anti-inflammatory mechanism, you can get a reduction of inflammation from a single session. So we tell our clients that the morning after their hyperbaric session, They should kind of check in with themselves, do a little mental body scan, and see how they're feeling. And that will give us an idea of just how much of inflammation reduction and potential pain management we got from the hyperbaric session. Now, some of these mechanisms run a little bit longer. We get a little bit more that happens. There's some things that are still progressing for day 2. So again, day 1, day 2 after your hyperbaric session. Now, pain management protocols are 10. So while we may get a reduction of inflammation with a single session, and as a consequent, get a reduction in pain, very often that swelling and inflammation is the root cause of the pain. And if we do nothing more than safely bring down the inflammation, we can get some really neat benefit there. We can feel well, and it's expected. But even that is considered to be an above average response. Now, in concussion protocols, hyperbaric oxygen is being used to help bring down the swelling in the brain. And it does that pretty well, and it's measurable, and you can see this. But how some of these things translate to how we feel. Now, as a consequence of that reduction of inflammation, it's not unusual after your first hyperbaric session to be going to the bathroom for a little bit more over the first 24 to 72 hours after your hyperbaric session. Now, nothing like you're going to have an accident or need to pull the car over to the side of the road. But some people, if you're paying attention, and I hope if you're starting a natural health journey, that you start checking in with your body a little bit more. It's always giving you signals. It's always giving you feedback. You are the best diagnostic for how you feel. So getting a little bit more information there with it. So some people notice again, oh, I'm going to the bathroom a little bit more. Oh, I just went. I need to go again. I don't normally do that. And that's expected when we are bringing down inflammation. That's part of how the body drains, and it's getting that excess out. Now, another thing that you may notice is that in addition to having to urinate a little bit more over the next 24 to 72 hours, you may also be going to the bathroom a little bit more with number 2. Now, again, hyperbaric has some very specific bactericidal mechanisms. And one of the most fascinating things about hyperbaric oxygen therapy is it only kills the bad gut bacteria, the stuff that's dystopic, the stuff that's not supposed to be there, is really unhappy at higher partial pressures of oxygen. There's some overlapping mechanisms there, and this is one of the reasons why hyperbaric works so well for traumatic brain injuries and a wide range of neurological conditions. There's a relationship to the gut and brain. We know that the hyperbaric sessions are restoring the cerebral metabolism, but what we're also finding is that the hyperbaric is helping to heal the gut. It's helping to heal the microbiome. It's helping with serotonin uptake. And it's amazing that the good stuff is a neutral. It doesn't bloom. It doesn't die. It's a total neutral. And that's another area where just so much more research is needed. It's absolutely amazing how awesome and perfect the human body is. And from what we know, the good gut bacteria is very similar to the bad gut bacteria. So what else is different there? Why is it not affected? Why is it a neutral with hyperbaric oxygen therapy? So that's an amazing thing there. And if you are undergoing hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or you've heard about somebody undergoing hyperbaric oxygen therapy and they're getting negative gut shifts, they're having candida issues, they're having bloating issues, they're having abdominal discomfort after the dive, there's something else going on there that needs to be handled. The oxygen is having some beneficial effects on the immune system, but because there are other issues that are being unaddressed. So if you're listening to this now or on the replay, and this sounds familiar, please reach out to us. We have so much information and we would love for you to let us help you. So again, getting back on point, because hyperbaric has this bactericidal mechanism and it kills this negative gut bacteria, we can get a detoxification effect. So again, some people may notice that they're going to the bathroom a little bit more, or they have a more significant bowel movement or bowel movements, or 24 to 72 hours after a hyperbaric session. Now, again, nothing like we're going to have any kind of incontinence, nothing like we're going to have an accident while sitting there watching TV. But some people do notice that, and that's to be expected. And it's actually a very good thing and a benefit of one of the things that's also going on. Now, along the lines of this, how hyperbaric helps our gut, serotonin is produced in our gut. And hyperbaric does a very good job of regulating serotonin and dopamine. It helps to balance brain chemistry. This is one of the reasons why it helps to prevent, it reduces suicidal ideation. A single hyperbaric session has been clinically documented to ameliorate suicidal ideations. I'll say that in English. You have a veteran who has a traumatic brain injury, who is dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. If we can get them into a chamber, the urges to commit suicide go away. They don't want to kill themselves anymore because the brain chemistry is able to be balanced, albeit temporarily, from that single session. So this is one of the reasons why people feel really good after a hyperbaric session. This is one of the reasons why they feel very calm. This is one of the reasons why they feel very clear after a hyperbaric session. You'll hear sometimes people will talk about how it's been beneficial to their brain fog. Well, the oxygen crosses the blood-brain barrier. It restores cerebral metabolism. Essentially, our brain is able to get enough oxygen. And a lot of those enzymes and chemical reactions that happen in the brain are heavily oxygen dependent. They need a lot of oxygen molecules. If you look at that particular enzyme or this oxidase or dismutase, it O18, it needs 18 oxygen molecules. O13, it needs a lot. That's 13 oxygen molecules. It needs a lot. And because the brain doesn't have any direct blood supply, this is one of the reasons why being able to safely take advantage of the mechanisms of hyperbaric oxygen, that we can dissolve a gas into a liquid. In this case, the gas is oxygen and the liquid is everything in our body except for very dense bone. So very neat thing there. Now, one of the other things that you can expect from a hyperbaric session, during your first hyperbaric session, your dive coordinator, ANDI certified chamber operator, is going to teach you equalization techniques. If you've ever flown in an airplane before, when the plane lands and you feel that pressure sensation in your ears, or if you have ever dove down to the bottom of a swimming pool and felt the pressure in your ears, that's normal. We're built that way. When the pressure on the outside of the eardrum is different than the pressure on the inside of the eardrum in our inner ear, it's going to cause an imbalance, and that imbalance is uncomfortable. And how we correct that imbalance is by equalizing. And if you've ever popped your ears, if you've ever had a drink of water and felt your ears flex, that was the ears equalizing. And learning to equalize is a skill. Some people are better at it than others. For example, we have people that are pilots, and when they're doing their hyperbaric oxygen therapy during the pre-dive briefing, we don't need to spend a lot of time educating them about how to do a Valsalva maneuver. That's pinch your nose and exhale gently through your nose with the nostrils pinched closed. As a pilot or a scuba diver, it's something that has already been learned. It's a learned technique. So your chamber operator, is, at least here at our ANDI Certified Hyperbaric Facility with our Emerald Heart ANDI Certified Chamber Operators, is never going to take you past a point that you are not acclimated to the pressure. We can slow the pressure, we can stop the pressure, we can drop the pressure. The only thing we can't do is we can't fix it if we don't know it's wrong. And your chamber operator will instruct you on how to communicate with us, and we can always hear you and we can always see you. And again, our sessions are customized to you. Now, what can happen is as we're learning to clear our ears, we may be using muscles that we don't normally use. So again, wouldn't be unusual to have some sensations in our ears, maybe even some fullness in our ears for the next 24 to 72 hours after our hyperbaric session. Now, sometimes when people are in a chronic inflammatory cycle, sometimes if their drainage pathways are overloaded, sometimes if the lymphatics are not draining properly into the lymphatic system, then it can be more challenging for the person to be able to clear their ears. And this is where a personalized dive plan is really helpful, because we're able to do additional targeted nutritional support to help the body drain, to help the body deal with inflammatory cycles, and it allows us to get better efficacy with the hyperbaric, and it creates an opportunity where someone that normally would have a lot of challenges clearing their ears, we can handle it with essentially food. We're doing targeted whole food supplementation to support the body and help to balance the body, and ultimately help to make the hyperbaric acclimation even easier. So if you have had the experience of doing a hyperbaric session and had a lot of pain and discomfort in your ears, that's not the way it's supposed to be. And we very, very much would like the opportunity to share with you how an Emerald Heart certified an Emerald Heart ANDI certified chamber operator does what we call our Emerald Heart pre-dive briefing and a proper hyperbaric acclimation. Again, we spend time with you working and learning how to adapt to hyperbaric. In fact, it's not uncommon for someone, after they've done a handful of sessions that may have had some ear challenges in the beginning, and they'll say, hey, was it as strong today? Did we go to the same pressure today? And that's because they're not feeling the pressure changes in their ears to the level they were. They're acclimating better and they're equalizing better. And it is a learned skill. So I hope this gave you a little insight into what to expect from a hyperbaric session, shared a little bit about protocols and personalized dive plans, and of course, a little bit about the differences here between working with an ANDI certified chamber, ANDI certified hyperbaric facility, and having a Emerald Heart pre-dive briefing, your first hyperbaric experience conducted by an ANDI certified Emerald Heart chamber operator. So I thank you as always for coming and joining me. I do Facebook Lives every Monday at 6 o'clock, and I do a variety of topics from nutrition to hyperbaric medicine to physics. We do some deep dives into different aspects of equipment, nutrition, and all sorts of health topics. Of course, we would love to help you reach your health and wellness goals, whether you are struggling with a chronic condition or you are just looking to be more healthy. We do anti-aging and biohacking. Maybe things are great and you are embarking at a new part in your life and planning on having children in the near future. Well, we would love to help you do a detox. We don't really do detoxes when we're pregnant, but we can certainly do some detoxification beforehand to ensure that we are better prepared and our body is better ready and able to handle the wonderful miracle of life. So absolutely. Yes, Tracy, absolutely. Anti-aging. And I will add, hyperbaric is one of the absolute best anti-aging therapies there are. One of the healing mechanisms forces the body to make more collagen. So when you're laying there doing your hyperbaric session, watching your television show or relaxing and listening to music, it forces the process of angiogenesis, right? We heal faster, tissue repairs faster. And part of this process of tissue repair is the production of collagen. As we age, our skin becomes collagen deficient. So this is part of a wellness program with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And we do have an amazing wellness program here that also includes detox foot baths, as well as some supported, targeted nutrition. And we'd love to share that with you. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out and joining me this evening. It is always amazing to have you here. If you're listening to this on the replay, please feel free to give us a call at 954-749-9998. And we look forward to helping you meet your goals. Tracy, we're here anytime you want. It's amazing having you here at the facility, and we look forward to seeing you again. Again, thank you everyone so much for coming out and joining me this evening. Again, we do Facebook Lives every Monday at 6 o'clock, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Between now and then, happy diving.